Finding the Voices.
Voices talk show by Monica Iguodam.
I'm a huge fan of Finding the Voice.
You're doing a great job for Manipur.
Manipur bu prithivida masatak pa
good positive voices and make those voices more visible.
Wanted our voice to reach in all the corners of the world.
Interesting people.
Been finding voices on
People from our own place.
Share positive stories and inspiring stories and bring out the good stories of Manipur.
Finding the Voices.
Joining me from Delhi, we have senior journalist and author of the book Blood on My Hand, and Jay in Pauna Bazaar, we have Kishalay Bhattacharjee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Monica.
I have read your Facebook update, and also I have read your article related to Irom, Sharmila, Chanu. But wanted to hear from you, on your opinion and view about her decision to end her fast and her vision to join politics.
I think nothing else is required to validate Sharmila's commitment towards what she stood for. 16 years is an unbelievable time for someone to be so resolute and determined for a cause. She started the fast. She didn't ask anyone to go. No one came and sat with her. People laughed at her. People ridiculed her. People didn't even believe that there's this girl who no one knew would come to Malam Bazaar, sit. The place where she sat for the fast today there's no bazaar there. There's actually a cottage. There was only a Professor Amar Yumnam and his wife who lived across the road from that spot. They were the only ones who came and sat with her, gave her a green shawl. That was the only company she had. And that was the year 2000 in November. It took a couple of years for people to actually understand what she was doing. And by then, there was a lot of people who were around her who claimed they were supporting her. I'm sure they supported her, across the country, across the world. But most of the support was basically, I think, token support. And those people who really, I believed at least, stood before her, also, probably believed in what she was doing. And she believed that they were there. I think by about 2010, when I met her, her belief in them had waned. She realized that her struggle was a very lonely struggle. And yet she continued. She did not waver for a moment. Interestingly, it was again in 2010 when her mother told me, and this is on camera, that I don't want to go and meet my daughter because her resolve may get weakened. But I cry every night. And if only once I could go and see her. Now, that mother is speaking something else today, for whatever reason. The brother, I brought the brother to Delhi, and he received the Indian of the Year award on behalf of his sister. And he too told me that, whenever you get a chance, please try and convince her to break her fast. The brother today is speaking a different language. And all the people that I had met who said that they would routinely go and convince Sharmila to give up her fast, because I was of the opinion that why don't we all go to Sharmila and say that, see, now you have done enough. Now we will come out and lead the movement, lead a normal life and lead the movement, because the fast has not really, whatever you said to achieve may not have been achieved, but a lot has been achieved. The whole narrative around AFSPA, our human rights abuse in Manipur and across the country, was internationalized, was brought into mainstream, was into academia, was into media, all because of her. So it's a huge achievement in terms of, if you see that way. And the day she decided to break her fast was a momentous, a day. You had an international media, national media out there, and then you had an entire state in complete silence, in complete, they rejected her entirely. And how I look at it really is that I have no words to explain this tragedy. I think it's one of the most tragic moments of human history, because this was an unprecedented, non-violent protest in the history of civil rights movement. And she started a lonely struggle. She had a lonely struggle for 16 years. And when she left the crowd of media men, again, she found herself lonely. And I think, why we need to salute her is that even at that moment, her resolve did not break. She said that I will not meet my mother because that was a promise that I made. She wanted to go and be with her friends and relatives and whoever her supporters. They were not there for her. She wanted to go to a temple. Even a temple did not receive her. And she had to walk back to the same room of the jail ward. I mean, the irony of this, I think, is not going to be explained in a long, long time to come. I have absolutely no way of explaining the emotion and the rejection by her people and so-called, her supporters. And what is worse, Monica, is that, we go to television debates or television discussions. Earlier, we used to do it once, a year or twice a year, like I said, like paying a little token to her. There wasn't actually real support. I mean, I don't think so there was any real support. I mean, and that was completely vindicated. And the people who claim to be representing her, I don't think so she ever gave them any kind of authority to represent her. But the people who represent her all over the television channels and opinion pages and give quotations for her on her behalf, had the audacity to say that she should have consulted us.
Yeah, so absolutely, I do agree with your point. But also I want to point out that, as you know, that the media would obviously pick up, some of the stories which are sensational and things like that. So yes, there was the very unfortunate incident back in Manipur with the whole rejecting, from a community and things like that. And I think a lot of people has come out. So a lot of people are there who are supporting Sharmila for her decision. And that's the very intent of me doing this episode, because I do want to bring up that voice. Because I think, like every media is picking up that story, and it's sounding as though the whole of Manipur and people in Manipur are shunning her, which I don't agree, and I don't think that's the case.
I completely agree with you. When I said supporters, I, of course, should have inverted commas. I think a large, I think, what the good part of it is that the majority of people of Manipur and of the rest of the country, and I'm sure, even beyond the borders of the country, who did not really tom-tom and say that we are saviors of Sharmila and we are supporters of Sharmila. They are the ones who are supporting her. They are the ones who are coming out and are angry that, but I am talking of the supporters within inverted commas, who represented, again, within inverted commas, her for so many years. And I think they have disappointed us. They have disappointed me, certainly. They have not stood beside her on the day when we thought that everyone in the world would celebrate that moment. It was her, her satyagraha, her fast was epic in proportion. It's epic in magnitude. I don't think so it's ever happened in human history, and I don't think so it's going to be possible in human history. She is absolutely exceptional, and like I said, that she doesn't require anybody else, anybody and anything to validate her commitment to what she did. She has achieved what she already set out to, and what she does now is irrelevant absolutely to what she's already achieved. So I mean, I don't see why anyone should even have a comment to make, forget about even an opinion about what she should do and whether she's done right or wrong, because what she's done is just unbelievable.
Right, and also I'm seeing, like, the more I'm following her story, and there are a lot of young people who are speaking out and who are sharing support for her, and I definitely would like to see the mainland Indian media to pick up voices and also show that yes, there are people who believe in her, who supports her, who accepts her the way she wants herself to be. But I am not seeing any of that, because as you had indicated, yes, there are debates and there are some shows, but it's the same people who's representing and speaking for her. So it is the same point of view and point of opinion.
I think you make a very, very valid point.
Monica, Finding the Voices.
Finding the Voices.
Finding the Voice.
I could see my father. Who came to meet my headmaster because he was unable to pay the fee. I'm sorry.
Because we need such story for people to have faith in the government and the system, that yes, it's working.
Let's bring peace in our home state, Manipur.
Who have got the job without bribery, they will do justice to their job, and they will help raise the standard of Manipur.
Me machine creado. I adu paraga tingogi.
I think just like the people in her supporters, within inverted commas, or whoever out there expressed their disappointment at her decision, I think the media across the world was actually expecting a celebration, and when they did not see that celebration, I think they were at first completely unprepared for this kind of a denial and this kind of a rejection, and that is what they are highlighting. And I agree to your point, and I think I myself shall write, and I would like to convey this also to others, that now is the time also to pick up those voices who are with her, who are in solidarity with what she wants to do. She's a free individual. She has set herself free. I mean, I think it's important to understand that she had bound herself and she set herself free. So she has always, I mean, whenever I've met her, the one thing that she's always said, and with a ever smiling face, is that she said, I don't want to be an icon. I don't want to be a poster girl. I am a normal person. Please let me live my life normally. And for all those people out there who are in solidarity with her, I hope they speak more vociferously. I hope they can, they're not muted. They're actually coming out. They're either expressing their anger or solidarity. Either way, they should be more visible. And it is the duty of the media now to pick those voices up, because otherwise we are again going to have a very stereotypical and a very skewed understanding. And let's not forget, the whole issue is getting under the carpet. The issue is of what she stood for those 16 years, that's going under the carpet. What is getting highlighted is the fact that, oh, she's given up her fast. Oh, now she's going to join politics. Oh, that's getting highlighted more, which I suppose will do because it's just so immediate. But let's not forget that the issue is of human rights abuse.
Right, absolutely. So, I think, you, from your experience covering her and also meeting her, I think that's great that you have shared, your view. But coming to what she has shared as a vision, and I have seen a lot of mixed reaction of her wanting to join politics. What is your view? What do you think?
I think Sharmila's faith in democracy is again something that has actually challenged Indian democracy in the biggest way. I don't think so anybody has been able to challenge Indian democracy the way Sharmila has. And her decision first for a non-violent protest and then to give up that and join politics, knowing well that her chances may not be as bright, knowing well that the world of landscape of politics anywhere in the world and particularly in India is murky. It's not somewhere where you just suddenly jump and join. To be able to have the courage and the conviction to actually try. All that she's doing, she's trying every possible way, but her goal remains the same. She may fail, but she would still make a difference. She's already, like I told you, she's made a difference. People would say that, well, AFSPA has not been repealed. I will say that, well, if AFSPA has not been repealed, it's very close to that. And it's her push that has happened. I mean, I wish she didn't have to not drink water and not eat food for 16 years. It should have happened long, long back. But she did it. And I think her joining politics, I mean, I don't think so I am anybody to tell her what to do. She is an absolutely free individual and she should do whatever she wants to do. And Manipur needs, a fresh lease of life in politics. Who else better than Sharmila? I mean, even if it's symbolism is also important. And I think she brings in a very, very, very strong symbol. And how she charts out her life is really, her business. I only hope and wish that she gets very credible and sincere advisors and friends to tell her what to do. And she's going back lonely to a room. It makes me a little skeptical that where are her friends? Where are her supporters? Where are her advisors? And I hope that the sane voices that you just now spoke about, I hope they come forward. I hope some amongst them are around her when she actually takes the plunge into politics, if she does.
Right. And also, I think there is a challenge for people to reach to her. I know that a lot of this may not be visible even to Sharmila herself because, just to go and meet her, there is a lot of security check and application and things like that. So there are a lot of people who are supporting her at the background, but may not have a direct access to her. But hopefully, now that she's free, it would change. And I hope that more people would come together and the message would reach her directly.
I think this is an historic opportunity in front of Manipur. And I hope that people of Manipur and people outside Manipur will seize this opportunity to let Sharmila in physical self lead the movement because, we are very close. I think we are very close to seeing change on the ground and we can't let this opportunity go. Sharmila will have to lead the movement. She's already there. And now since she's set herself free, I think we should now back her up as much as we can.
Right, absolutely. And I think what I admire about her is she is not afraid to speak up. So there are a lot of things which she has spoken, of course, which has been edited out, but she has been very brave in bringing out, some of her viewpoint on certain issues in Manipur, and that's why I'm very optimistic about her vision in joining politics. And like you said, she can try it, and we don't know whether it's going to be successful or not, but we can offer our support to her.
Well, absolutely.
And also, I think it's a big opportunity for Manipur as well as India because she is working under the realm of democracy and in a non-violent way.
Oh, absolutely.
So I know you are not in Manipur, but given a chance, would you vote for her?
Oh, absolutely. I would. For Sharmila, I think I would go out and do anything, because, like I said, that nothing else is required to validate. I mean, she has surpassed all that. She has achieved everything as far as I'm concerned. And to make people aware, to awaken in people the anger against what was going around, to bring human rights abuse and AFSPA as part of a vocabulary in mainstream media, in regional media, in academia, in drawing room conversation. I think it's entirely Sharmila's achievement. So, she gets not just my vote, but every little bit of support, whenever she needs.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. And there was one video I had seen wherein she had tears in her eyes, and I felt really bad. And she expressed that she needs to hear words of moral support. So I wanted to end this by asking you to share a message to Sharmila.
Well, the message to Sharmila is that we all are behind you, Sharmila, and we need you at this hour to lead the movement. So never for a moment think that you are lonely or you are alone in that struggle. You have been leading a lonely struggle, but I think now everyone is going to be behind you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for joining our show.
Thank you so much.
Finding the Voices.